Hello YouTube, Dave here again. So while I was in Toronto for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, I went around to a couple of the game stores in the Toronto, like downtown or area, sort of near to where I was staying. And both those stores ended up being 401 Games as well as Harry Tarantula, which was a little bit further out. While I was in Toronto, I did ask if there was anything anybody was looking for, particularly like used D&D books, hoping that there would be plenty of opportunities to find used or older D&D books in a city like Toronto. Unfortunately, that never really came to fruition, but I was introduced to what very well may be my latest obsession, because one of my friends asked if I could pick up a copy of the BattleTech Alpha Strike box set here. So he had issues with his that he had pre-ordered and never ended up receiving it. So when I was there, they had the box, and I picked it up for him, took it back to the hotel, and it sat in my suitcase for several days. And every time I went to get changed for bed or get dressed in the morning, that box set was there. I remember pulling it out of the suitcase a couple of times and just looking it over. And then I started watching some videos, and I do want to get more into like tabletop miniatures games in general. That's why I picked up the Warhammer 40K stuff that I did. However, I was really impressed by the price points for the BattleTech game. The Warhammer stuff, like the starter sets that I have, the introductory set and the starter set, are fairly reasonably priced for what you get. However, when you go beyond those, the prices gets to be a little bit on the insane side of things. Seeing like single miniatures selling for like $40 or more Canadian kind of made it to the point where, like, if I were to get anything else for BattleTech, it would likely be only like starter sets when the new editions come out, because at least those seem to be pretty reasonably priced. But for this game, I found that like a lot of the additional support, like the other, boxes of miniatures and stuff that you can get, are pretty fairly priced for what they are. So I was really impressed with that, and they tend to come pre-assembled, which is a huge plus for me. So today I've got these 4 BattleTech box sets, which for the time being is likely going to be as far as I go. The only other box set I'm considering is the Mercenaries box, but for the most part, my plan is to simply get box sets and really not typically wanting to expand much beyond that. After all, I'm not going to be playing a ton of games of this stuff, so I don't really need a whole lot of it, but it is nice to have some different options and some different mechs available. So we're going to go through and we're going to be unboxing all of these in this video. I cut the plastic off just to make my life a little bit easier. I have already recorded an unboxing video for the beginner box, but I decided just to do them all sort of in one shot here. So let's just go ahead and begin. So with the beginner box here, one of the cool things about this is for like the 40th anniversary sort of like re-release of the beginner box and the Game of Armored Combat, but they actually line up on the artwork here. So if you see this guy's laser pistol or laser beam shot that he's firing actually continues on this box set here. So it's kind of neat. You got like the fire and the explosions, and you got the 2 different mechs there, and it's just, I just thought it was kind of neat. So we have those, but on the box itself, again, really cool artwork. And then on the back, you get shown kind of what's in here. This does cost $24.99. That's the US price. I think the Canadian price that I ended up paying was $29.99. I think I ended up paying about $5 more. And I do live in Canada, so I do pay Canadian prices on things. So that's what I'm going to be going off of for my pricing. But anyway, let's go ahead and open this up. So inside we do have our quick start rules. Like I said, I did kind of reorganize this a little bit, but looking through, these are the quick start rules for the classic BattleTech game, which I've only ever played 2 games of with 2 very different experiences. The first time we were playing with like the cardboard stand-ups, and it was my old gaming group that I started learning like D&D with, or like learning D&D with, so they weren't really particularly helpful and trying to teach me anything about the game, and it was just going on forever. Like one of the players was just had like a really mobile mech, so they were kind of like running circles. And the only thing I clearly remember about that was that at the end I just got so tired of playing that I just overheated everything and caused my mech to explode, and then I was done with the game. My second experience was a lot better though, because I was actually playing just a one-on-one game with somebody who actually wanted to teach the game to beginners, and it makes a really big difference. So it was a lot of fun. So this beginner box is purely for like the classic BattleTech, but we do get the rule booklet there. It does come with this golden rule short story type of thing. And what's actually kind of cool also, there's different time periods, I guess, for the BattleTech stuff. So it does show on the back which era this takes place in, which is kind of neat. Again, I did take these out of the plastic bag that they were in. It is resealable, but I didn't think it was going to be easy to get the stuff back in without like the sticky part catching on these cards. But we do have these cards for the different mechs that are available in here. And even though there's only 2 plastic ones, another thing that I actually really like about this game is the fact that it is really proxy friendly and has like a lot of support through just like cardboard standees, which is awesome. So we've got the Thunderbolt, so 2 different types of Thunderbolt. We've got 2 different types of Vindicator, which is also this mini here. So there's the default version, which I think has the default version has the rules explanation on the back, I think. And then there's the sort of like an upgraded version. So there's 2 different types of each. And then we got the Griffin, which is this guy here. So I guess I should make sure that that shows up quite well. And I really like these minis as well. I think they're going to be a lot of fun to paint. Then we got the other Griffin here. So I think that's the default one. No, maybe not. I don't know. And then we've got the Locust with 2 different types there as well. We've also got some dice included, so 2d6, which is technically all that you need to play the game. And then we've got some pilot cards here as well. I'm not going to take these out, but they are cards for the different mechs, so you can have like pilots with their own unique abilities. I don't think the starter scenario uses them, but I think the later ones can. And then we've got a instant guide to the inner sphere. So we've got sort of the like the political landscape based off of the time period of 3025. A little bit of an explanation of the different factions, I guess, or the different houses, powers that are involved. So some cool stuff there, and then some just information about like the battle mechs and the mech warriors themselves, which is also kind of cool. There is this advertisement for Ironwind medals. It does come with a coupon code, but this is not a unique coupon code. So I think anybody would be able to use this one. I think there are some unique codes that I'll probably try to not show on camera. But these are kind of neat if you want to get into the metal ones. So you can get, what is it here? 20% off a minimum order of $100. So you're saving at least $20. And then again, this is the thing that I think is really cool about this game is you could just use the cardboard standees. Like even if you don't paint the minis, you still have like the ability to just play games out of the box here, which is really cool. You also get some additional terrain pieces. And then you've got the fronts and backs of the mechs there as well. And then the last thing is the double-sided map. And what's also cool about these maps is, at least for this and the Game of Armored Combat that we're going to take a look at next, the maps are pretty similarly colored, so they can be put together if you really need to. So we've got the grasslands on one side, and then we've got the desert on the other. So that is the Game of Armored Combat box set. And let's put that in. Like to have that facing that way. We'll put that there. We'll put those in there. And then we'll get this guy back. there. Those can go there. Not quite sure what the other tray is for, because I think these ones are supposed to be like, I guess you can put the dice and the cards in there. I'm not quite sure what that one's for, but anyway, we'll just put those on top. And then that can go there, that will go there. And that was the BattleTech, oh, squeaky box. That was the BattleTech beginner box. So we've got that one. Up next is the Game of Armored Combat. All right, so up next we have the Game of Armored Combat. This one did have an exclusive promo code. So I wanted to take that out of the box first. That's why things were cut, because I think the camera may have picked it up a little bit there. But yeah, it is an actual like promo code that you have to enter. So anyway, but let's take a look at the actual box here. Again, we got the really cool artwork here. Just a really evocative scene, you know, with like the mechs in the background, just the fire, the laser cannons and stuff going off is really cool. And then on the back, you get an idea of what's in here. So this one includes 8 mechs, I guess, all together. It has 2 maps and some other goodies in here as well. And again, this is meant to be like the classic BattleTech game rules that are supported here, but this does include something else, which is kind of neat, which goes along with the beginner box and support for the method of gameplay that I'm probably going to do the most. But here we've got, again, a short story. So this is Ice Storm, which also takes place during the Succession Wars, so along with the starter set. But what's cool about this one is that it has the cards for the Alpha Strike game, which again is probably how I'm going to play this the most. Alpha Strike is a quicker playing game. Like this is the whole stat card that you use, and it's kind of more of like a tabletop miniatures game. I would almost dare say it's closer to like a skirmish style game than, you know, something like Warhammer, for example. But you do get to field a larger forces generally. Didn't mean to hit the tripod there, but you generally field like a larger array of forces, but the game plays a lot quicker. So we've got the cards for them, and in here is also the Alpha Strike card for the Griffin mech, which was in the beginner box. It doesn't have one for the Vindicator, I don't think. Let's actually open this up, and we'll actually take a look through them here. So we got the Battlemaster with 2 different types. Oh, the Battlemaster and the Awesome on the back there. Okay. I thought they were the same mech on each side, but I guess not. We got the Thunderbolt. Okay, we got 2 Thunderbolts there. So I wonder if one of these... Oh, maybe those are both like leader units that you can only take one or the other. I'm not sure. We'll take a look as we go here. We got the Catapult. We'll just flip those over there. So we got the Catapult, which has the same thing on both sides. The Wolverine, which has the same mech with different configurations. They have like a point cost here as well. The Shadowhawk. And there's our Griffin. So we got the 2 different Griffin cards. The Commando. The Locust. Okay, yeah, the other one must be like a leader card. And then we've got the Pilot cards here as well, which is kind of neat. And they are double-sided there. So that's, again, a pretty cool inclusion. So they don't have the Vindicator stat card for Alpha Strike, but I think you can find those online. I think. So I should be able to track that down, hopefully without too much difficulty. Again, we've got our just 2d6. And we'll take a look at the mechs, I guess, maybe last. But here we've got the BattleTech primer. That one's got a little bit of a crease in it, but that's fine. So this is, again, kind of like the different eras, the different aspects of like the game lore to know there. So we got the Inner Sphere, that was in the starter set. And the different, I guess, organizations or factions that are prevalent during that time. I think House Merrick might be my favorite one because it's purple, and purple's my favorite color. Then we got the Mercenaries. Then we've got the different things that you can also look at. There's the Alpha Strike Commander's Edition, so that's a hardcover rulebook, which is out of print like everywhere, which kind of sucks, but I'll try to maybe find that one day. And then we got the rulebook here. This rulebook is pretty hefty. It comes in at 56 pages, which is pretty cool. And I'm not going to go through everything, but again, this is like classic BattleTech through and through. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I would probably, I'd be willing to play a few games of this style as well, but it's not going to be my preferred way. So again, like, these are the sheets for the specific mechs in this box set. So again, you look at all of this information for the base game, or this being everything that you need for the Alpha Strike game, and that's why this is probably going to be the way that I play the game the most there. But again, we've got our different mech types, and we do have like a blank sheet on the back as well if you want to create your own. And I think there is actually information for like creating your own mechs on the back of this as well. And then we've got which is the new inclusion in this version of the box set over the previous version, is that it has the Ill Clan era rules. So with like the clan stuff, apparently it's a little bit further in the future, and the clans have a higher degree of technology, so it changes things quite drastically there. So if you wanted to add like clan era equipment to your mechs, like that's the rules for. I'm just going to leave this in the baggie for now, and then we've got our map. So we got a few other things in here. Okay. So again, another Ironworks advertisement there. Another sheet with cardboard standees and different terrain pieces, front and back. A little bit more going on in the desert terrain than in the starter set. We do have this like cardboard reference sheet, which is really cool to have as well. And then we've got the two different maps. I'm not going to unfold these, but again, well, I'll unfold one just so you can kind of see once again that you've got like desert on one side, and then you got like grasslands on the other. So we've got two of those maps there. So we have three in total that we could play with if we wanted a really big field to play on, which, we don't, but it is an option there. And I think I'm going to have this rule book. On top of everything else. We'll put that there. We'll put those there, and then we'll take a look at the different mechs. So the tray does give you an idea of what they are here as well. So we've got. I think this was the. Was it Shadow? So again, really cool looking mechs there. And I think this one is... Oh, okay, I'm not quite sure which one this is, but this is really cool looking as well. Again, I'm just looking at these for the first time, so it's going to take me a little bit to learn. I think this was the Commando. And then we've got the Locust there. So some really cool minis here. Then we got the Thunderbolt. The Awesome, apparently. Oh no, sorry. This is the Wolverine, I guess, is what it looks like, at least according to the tray. This is the Awesome. And then we've got, again, I'm not entirely sure which one this is again. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. Like, these mechs look awesome. They're fully assembled. It doesn't look like there's much in terms of like mold lines or like a lot of prep work to getting these painted. You just gotta basically, wash them with some soapy water, let them dry out, prime them, and start the paint jobs. When it comes to painting, the other thing that I will say is I kind of am on the fence of whether I should like try to paint these like a specific way based off of like the BattleTech. Oh, that might be for putting the train pieces in actually, or the standees. Like painting them like the specific way according to like the universe, like the different examples that you see on like the cards or stuff, or if I'd be able to get away with just painting them however I want, because I think it was either the Vindicator in the starter set, or maybe it was the Griffin, but there's one of them that had a paint scheme that like was very, very close to what I kind of want to try anyway, which is to paint him to look like Optimus Prime, because he already had like blue and red on him. So I don't know. I guess it's a question for the BattleTech community. Whoops, again hitting the camera here. Is like how strict are you on paint schemes and stuff like that? I feel like it's a pretty open, like to just do whatever you want type of community. But I guess we'll see here. And then we've got the Clan Invasion box. But again, let me just check and make sure there's no specific. Like actual promo code in here. Okay, it doesn't look like it. So here we've got the Clan Invasion. This is the most recent arrival of the boxes. So I ordered the first three, or the Armored Combat, the Beginner Box, and the Alpha Strike. I ordered those during my trip to Toronto. Because I knew I wasn't going to be able to fit them in my suitcase, so I just had them ordered from the stores and shipped to my house. But the Clan Invasion I ordered more recently. And so on the back, again, we've got some mechs here. We also have, looks like, some power armor type of stuff. And you can actually see some of them like using jetpacks or like jump jets. So that looks really, really cool. It's just, again, some really awesome stuff in here. Again, some more cardboard standees. And I think, again, we've got more support for the Alpha Strike game, although I don't think the power armor is part of that. We'll take a look. So here we've got the Bonds of Battle, so another short story here. This one doesn't have the era information on the back, but I mean, it's the Clan Invasion set, so I don't think it's a huge intuitive leap to assume that this takes place during the Clan Invasion timeline. So we got our dice there again. So here we've got our cards. So again, we'll just take a quick look at the Alpha Strike cards in particular. So we have the Adder Prime. Okay, there's only 4? I thought there were 5. Oh, no, there are 5. Okay. Keep it in the tripod. So we got the Adder Prime. And then we've got the Adder A. We got the Executioner Prime. And, the Executioner is the model that I'm looking the most forward to painting, I think. Because it's got like the face on it there, which looks really, really cool. You got the Mongrel Prime, and then the Mongrel A, the Nova Prime, the Nova A, and then you got the Timberwolf Prime and the Timberwolf A, and then we've got our pilot cards, our double-sided pilot cards there as well. So put those back in the bag. Hopefully it cooperates with me. There we go. All right, we'll take a look at the minis last. And I just want to double check and make sure there's no promo codes in here. Okay, no, I think we're fine. All right, so we got the Clan Invasion Primer. And this is actually a pretty hefty booklet as well. So I was kind of surprised by that. I was thinking it'd only be like a handful of pages. So this is the Inner Sphere after the clan invasion. And we've got the founding of the clans and some of the different clans that are in here as well. Clan Wolf, I think, might be another one of my favorite ones, based off of just some of the, like the minis and stuff that I've seen painted up. Some glossary, the different map regions. So again, some awesome stuff there. And then we got the Clan Invasion rule booklet. So again, this combined with the Game of Armored Combat, and you've got a pretty solid foundation of rules that, you know, you'd be able to play, I think, quite a few games of like the classic BattleTech with. I also like that they got the tabs there to help with everything. Clan Honor, some scenarios, some examples, I guess, of some painted up next there. So that's really cool. Again, we've got our sheets, our mech sheets. So if you want to play the classic one there. And then this is actually pretty cool. I don't think I'll be able to fit it all on camera, but it's a double-sided, like, high-gloss poster map of the Inner Sphere in 3052 and in 3025. So the two different, I guess, primary eras from the box set. So that's really cool. We have our reference sheet again here. This one, I don't think it's quite as glossy as the other one, but it is still a nice thick cardstock. And then we've got, again, which is, again, really awesome, is we've got the cardboard standees that we can 100% use without having to actually use the plastic mechs at all. The different terrain pieces on there once again. And we've got two maps again, which I'm not gonna unfold these, but they are your desert and grassland playing fields again as well. So right now we've got a total of like 5 maps that we can use for this game, which is really cool. And we'll just put this stuff back in. And again, I think the rule booklet is going to go on the top of the box, so we'll put this in there, and then we'll let's take a look at these mechs. So we're going to start with, we'll start with these guys down here. So these are, I guess they're called elementals, but they're like power armor, like dudes in power armor. And I like how they have like the exhaust from like the jump jets, as you know, like how they're kind of shown. And there's 2 of these guys. So that's pretty neat, although they're very small, so painting those I think is going to be very difficult for me. We've got the adder, the adder, which again looks really, really cool. Looks like it's got quite a bit of shielding on the top there. Whoops. And then we've got the Nova. And this thing just has like a whole bunch of, I guess, like lasers. It's just strapped to its arm. So there's what, 2, 4, 6. So there's like 12 different lasers, 6 on each arm. And again, really cool looking mini. Then we've got the, what was it, Grendel? Really cool looking mini. Again, doesn't look like there's much that needs to be cleaned up here. So I think that'd be, again, really easy. That's the thing I'm really impressed with these, is just how well put together they are. I don't really see any major, any major mold lines. There's one kind of right there. But that's like the first one that I've really noticed, and even that's not that bad. Like, honestly, I would probably just leave that, because it might even just be separation between 2 panels on the mini itself. So there's a little bit of a line, I guess, on the lag there. But again, I don't think it's noticeable enough that really needs anything to be done to it. And then we've got the Executioner. And again, this thing is really cool because it's got a face. Maybe it's not the one I was thinking of. There's one that has like a skull face that I was really looking forward to painting. But this thing looks just amazing as well. So again, some really, really cool minis. That's the adder. That guy goes in there. They also don't, like, the tray holds these really well. Like now if you were to tip them over, they'd all fall out. So like they're not gonna stay in there. But they're not, like with some games that I have that have like plastic minis, you push them in, they kind of lock in place, and they can be so difficult to get out that I'm always worried about breaking them. So let's put those there for now. We'll put that there. And then we've got our final box that we're going to be opening. Again, I'm just going to check and make sure there's no specialty promo codes or anything in it. And we'll take a look at, again, what I suspect will be the primary way that I play this game in the Alpha Strike box. So just give me one moment here. So again, I just want to make sure. Oh, this might have the mech with like the skull face. Okay, doesn't look like there's anything here. So let's just put this back in. All right. And so here we've got the Alpha Strike box set. Again, on the back here, this one does come with 13 minis, so 13 fully assembled models. There were 10 between the beginner box and the Game of Armored Combat. And so there's 15, not including the elementals, which don't have the stat cards for them for Alpha Strike. Which is fine. So that is 15, and that's 28 models that I'm gonna have. That's definitely more than enough. I guess I haven't been mentioning the prices. This was $79.99 US. I think it was $10 more Canadian. The Clan Invasion was $49.99 US. I paid $60 for it Canadian. And this one was $60. I think I paid $70 Canadian for that. So about $5 or $10 more per box there. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. So what's also cool about this one is, again, it feels more like a traditional miniatures game. So you don't need battle maps or anything like that. It can be played just on a bare tabletop with some terrain pieces, which are actually included in this box set. And you can use like a measuring tape. I think there are like optional rules maybe in the hardcover book for using a hex map if you really want to, because like I do have several with these other box sets. But this could just be played on your kitchen table with the terrain pieces included, and you'll be perfectly fine. So again, some awesome stuff there. Take a look inside. We have the Chaos Series. So this is the mech that I'm thinking of that has like the skull face on it there. And I'm really looking forward to painting that because my plan is to do it white, but it like kind of stipple on the white paint so it looks a little more haphazard, because it never, in all the pictures that I've seen of it, it always looks like it's just kind of like painted on a lot more roughly. And this one takes place in the Ill Clan, so this is after the Clan Invasion. Well after the Clan Invasion era. So I guess it's the most up-to-date or current version of the game. We do have a bunch of Battlefield support cards, which I'm not going to show in this video. I might do a separate video when I start playing some actual games of it. But essentially they each have like point costs, and when you're going to your combat phase, you can activate one of these as if it were a model on the table. And they don't have like units to represent them. Like you don't need like tanks or stuff like that. It just kind of represents like an event that takes place, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So some cool stuff there. We've got our pilot cards, which again I'll probably just leave inside of the box there. We have our 2d6, which is really all you need for this one, which we'll sort of discuss here in a moment. But we do have our mechs here, or our cards, our stat cards. So no giant character sheet type of things. So again, like you can tell how quickly some of these things are, going to go down. So like the Wasp here, it has 1 point of armor and then 3 points of structure, but like at short range, it does 2 damage. So if 2 of these fought, it would only take 2 shots to destroy one another. So these ones, they can't overheat. Some of them I think might have an overheat score. Yeah, so this one, the Nova Prime, can overheat. But anyway, so we got our Wasp there. It's 10 points. And then on the back side, we've got a different Wasp, which is 17 points. Ooh, that's a tougher version of it. So I think the standard ones are on like the front side, and then you've got an upgraded version on the other. I'm not going to go through all the different stats or anything there. These are pretty glossy cards. They're actually, like, the fact that they're glossy is nice because you can literally use a dry erase marker to mark out the points there, or you can get sleeves for them and do it that way as well. So we got our Locust, our Blackjack, the Phoenix Hawk, the Wraith, the Archer. That thing looks pretty cool. The Warhammer. And here's my favorite one, the Atlas. That's what it is. So again, and I'm probably going to paint it similar to that. Kind of like has almost like a Soundwave look to it. Which is awesome. Not Sound. Was it? No, not Soundwave. Was it Soundwave? No. Who was the purple Decepticon? That anyway. But he looks really cool. I think Soundwave is the one that turns into a cassette player. And then on the back, oh wait, I think those are stuck together. Yeah. And then we got the other Atlas on the back there. The Fire Moth. DNG, the Pouncer, the Nova Prime, and the Nova T, the Timberwolf, and the Warhawk. So we got all kinds of stat cards there, which is really, really cool. Again, we'll save the minis for last. We'll just pop those over there for now. Slide this back in the packaging. I think I was playing, was it D&D Onslaught a couple weeks ago, and there were some cards or something that I was trying to put back into one of these packages, like one of these plastic ones that reseals, and the whole thing just ripped open. Like the whole side just blew out. We got the primer, the BattleTech primer. So I think this is pretty much the same one that was in, or similar to the one that was in the Game of Armored Combat, although we do have the more updated version of it, I guess. So anyway, really cool stuff there. We've got the Alpha Strike Quick Start rules. And again, like this is meant to be like a tabletop thing where, again, you use measuring. You don't have to use like the hex map or anything. And what's also really cool about this is that it has tokens that you can use to mark things like your movement type and what modifiers they impose on different rolls. They're different than, again, it's a much more streamlined version than the classic rules, where you can get more and more penalties depending on how far you move. With this one, it's just, the different movements, and like just a set modifier doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you moved like 3 inches or if you moved like 6 inches, the thing would be the same. And some really cool paint jobs on here. The facing stuff. And then some scenarios, which we're not going to go over too much here. But again, some really cool stuff. I absolutely love this. And we've got a whole bunch of these cardstock buildings that you can just fold up and turn into terrain. I'm not going to do that in this video, but you've got some like really low buildings, sort of like small, medium, and large type of stuff. There's the quick start rules for the reference sheet as well. And then what's really cool about this one is we've got all kinds of terrain. So we got like the trees and stuff there. We have Then these are like really thick cardstock. So we got some trees, we have the buildings. Whoops, keep hitting the gosh darn tripod with my foot. Okay, that'll do. We've got some objective markers, and again, we've got these tokens that you can use when you're finished moving your character. So you can have that they basically just did like basic walking, that they sprinted, that they jumped, and again, it gives you the modifiers there as well. I guess this like a scatter template for any sort of like explosion that might occur. So again, really cool stuff. So like the direction that it goes in. Anyway, really cool stuff. I think this is going to be a ton of fun to play. And again, I like this version because it is designed to be sort of like just a lot quicker in terms of its execution, which I'm all for. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun way to play this game. So, and I've got plenty of support for it. There's only one mini that I have that I don't have the stat card for when it comes to the Alpha Strike game, which is fine because I'm sure that I can get the Vindicator stats somewhere for it. But let's go ahead and take a look at some minis here. So these ones are not labeled, so I'm just going to show them because there's no way that I'm going to remember all of their names, but let's just kind of go through. And again, the minis are really nicely detailed. So we got our smaller mechs here first, or some of these are smaller ones. I like how this guy's actually running for his pose. Oh, we got another one of these guys with the 12 laser pistols, or not laser pistols, I'm thinking Starfinder now, but like the laser cannons. Some more locusts. I think I've got several of these now. I think there's what? Oh, maybe I just have two. I know there's one in the game of Armored Combat, but. And then we got this guy here. I love the antenna sticking up there. Reminds me of like the power loader from Aliens, where it had like the antenna sticking up, which were really only there to disguise the fact that it was being supported from like a crane. This guy looks pretty awesome. He almost looks like I mean, I don't know if saying this is heresy, but he almost looks like a Gundam. But again, really nice looking minis here. I think these guys are going to be a ton of fun to paint. I really like this mech, and I think there's another one of these in the Clan Invasion box because there's one right on the cover there. So, it'd be kind of cool to have a couple of those. And this guy also looks pretty awesome. Like the missile launchers, opened up and ready to go. So again, just some really cool looking minis. This guy's pretty neat too. It's like a heavier version of one that was in, I think it was the Clan Invasion one. Just because like the big thing on the top there, but really cool. And then my absolute favorite one here, this is the one that I'm the most looking forward to painting, the Atlas. I do remember the name of this one because he got like that skull face there. So I'm going to paint him like purple and white, but the white for the face is going to be like say kind of like stippled on there. Really cool. Really fun. Like, I'm really looking forward to giving this game a try, and I know that I have a friend who is probably going to be more than willing to play some games. He's the one that like I played the scenario with, where he kind of helped teach me how to play the classic game. So that's really cool. Looking forward to that. We've got our other cards there. We'll put our short story goes on top of them. And then we'll put our rule book on the top just so that they're easy to reference. And there you go. So there is the BattleTech box sets that I picked up recently. Like I said, my latest obsession here. And I'm looking forward to eventually painting these up and playing some games. Like I said, most likely of Alpha Strike. I wouldn't be opposed to classic BattleTech, but mostly I'm just looking to play the Alpha Strike there because I think it'll be a lot more. They're quicker games, so I think it'll be a little bit more fun for me that way. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. So let me know in the comments below, or if you guys are into BattleTech. What are some of your favorite mechs to play with? Do you prefer Alpha Strike over Classic, or do you prefer Classic over Alpha Strike? Yeah, when it comes to painting the mechs, how particular are you about paint schemes needing to match like the different houses and clans and all that stuff? So let me know that in the comments below. Anyway, thank you all so very much for your time. I truly appreciate it, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, take care.